Yesterday, we laid the foundation for purpose with pillar number two, covering your why, your vision, your calling. I know that many of you, that stirs something deep inside of you. You started remembering your dream. You started seeing the big picture. But now it's time to bring that dream into focus. So today is about planning, all about planning. And that's turning that vision into a real workable path. But let's be honest. A dream without a plan? It's really just a wish. This is where we stop. This is where we stop winging it and start mapping it. This is where we break down into simple, doable steps so you can finally stop spinning your wheels and start building momentum. Planning doesn't mean it has to be perfect. I talked about the procrastination syndrome, why people sometimes will want to wait until it is perfect before they get started. You're losing time, you're losing ground. It just has to be clear enough to move. Because you see, without action, direction leads to burnout. But action with a plan, that leads to results. So today we're going to roll up our sleeves, we're going to get focused, we're going to block out the noise. And you don't have to do it all. You just have to do the next thing right. So let's make your vision make sense on paper and in real. Let's build something that lasts. Let's go to work. And I am really excited about what we are going to be covering today. So let's get real for a minute. A lot of people say they want to start a business. But let's be honest. Nobody really wants to start a business for the sake of starting a business. No. What they want is what a business can produce. Because the truth is, business is hard. It's late nights, it's sweat, it's stress. It's showing up even when nobody's clapping for you yet. It's showing up when you don't even want to show up. But deep down, what you're actually after is the fruit that the business produces. Now, over my time, I have found that these fruits usually fall within one or more of these five things or categories. The first one is looking for financial freedom, not just making enough money to live well, to sleep peacefully, and to invest in the future. Those are the things that you want. It is number two, independence, having control of your time, your schedule, and your choices. In other words, you call the shots. A third area is travel, global traveling, building a life that lets you explore the world while your business keeps on moving, whether you are on a beach or you're in the boardroom. And a fourth motivation I found is building a legacy and making an impact, knowing that your work matters, that you're changing lives, that you're lifting others, and you're leaving something behind that lasts, a lasting legacy. The fifth huge area I have found is scalable growth, setting it up so that your business can grow without grinding you into the ground. So let me ask you, which of these speaks to you most right now? Which speaks to you the most right now? Let's put that in the chat box. Whichever one that is, put that in the box. Because once we're clear on that, we can start building your business with the right foundation, on the root that is rooted in purpose and that is aimed at the results that matter. Okay? Let's see what have we got. Okay. All right. So now you know what you want. I am going to show you exactly how to go after it. But first, let's play a little mind game. I love playing games. I want you to go into a dark closet, if you can at the moment, or wherever you are. Sit with your hands placed on your knees. and leave your mind blank. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and I want you to visualize your life at the peak, when you are at the fullest, when you are thriving, your business is thriving, when your time is yours, when you feel fulfilled, you have fulfillment. What do you see? Who is with you? What does your day look like? How does it feel to wake up in that life? That vision, that's your target, and it is powerful. Just pause a moment and let that picture get locked into your subconscious. Lock it into your mind. This is where you see yourself at the very peak of your life, living your best life. Okay. And now we are going to map it out. The good thing about this is that you are not starting from scratch, because you see, you already carried your expert genius. You've already carried out your expert genius from pillar number 1. You have identified what that is. So we are just going to use that gift, that unique brilliance in you, and build the bridge. Build the bridge from where you are to where you know you are supposed to be. So let's go. Let's go make it real. The bridge from where you are right now to where you want to be is your business plan. That is the bridge that we are going to build. And your mind game that we just played is what will give you the perspective on getting there. So, the path to your one-page business plan. And we have outlined that this is the primary outcome that you will get from today's session, creating your business plan. But we don't have to get into a 30, 40-page business plan. Oh, that's for the bankers. That's for the big investors. What we really need right now is something that you can chew into and create that is right for you, that lays out the path that you need to take, every step that you need to take in order to get to where you want to be. So now, to build that plan, we need to we need a simple budget. We need a budget. That's one of the points that has to be in the plan. And a budget that requires also a realistic sales goal. To have a budget, you have to have a sales goal. Now, in addition to that, the sales goal depends on your price point. What are you selling? At what price? And your price point depends on what you're offering. What is your product? What is your service? What is your package? These are the things that makes up, but positions you to put together a budget that leads to your business plan. So, we're not here to just talk about business ideas. Our outcome is action, that real working one-page business plan that you have on your desk, that it's like your diary. You keep it with you, and you're constantly focused on it. That is what is going to keep you on point. But you see, it guides you with all your moves. But to get there, we have got to start with the basics. We can't create a plan without a budget. We can't create a budget without sales goal. We can't even create goals without knowing the price. And you certainly can't set a price unless you're clear about what you are offering. So today we are going to walk that path step by step. And by the end of this session, you'll not only know your numbers, but you'll know your product, your value, and your mission. And if you don't know it for certain, you'll know exactly how to determine it. So let's go to work. Let's go to work and get that plan going. So let me give you a system that will allow you to accomplish that. First thing is to identify your best marketable product or service. You already have it. It's inside of you. So all this is going to do is help to bring it out. And the one way that I found that has been most effective in doing this is what I call the 5-question technique. That 5-question technique allows you to get clear on what you're selling. Most importantly, what people will actually pay you for. See, many people get stuck trying to sell what they like, not what the market wants. So let's fix that with the 5 simple soul-searching questions. Are you ready? Here we go. Question number 1. What do people already come to you for? What do people naturally come to you for help or advice with? Think about what they always ask you to help them with, whether it is advice, support, a skill, a hookup, or talent. This reveals where you are seen as an expert or a trusted resource. And that's a clue as to what they already trust you with to deliver. You see, people vote with their questions before they vote with their dollars. You're answering questions, dollars will follow along. Number 2, what do you do that you love doing? When you're doing it, it doesn't feel like work. When I go deeper into this, one of the things that you'll want to have register when you're in that closet, in that mode, is as you're thinking about things, there are certain specific questions that you're going to ask. And the trigger point for that thing that resonates with you is going to be when, without any prompting, it automatically puts a smile on your face. We'll lead you up to that, but when you find that thing that puts a smile on your face, then you know you are in your zone of genius. Your best product, believe it or not, is often wrapped in your natural passion, something that you do and love. And so that is why this is so very, very important. Now, number 3, what results have you already helped others to get? You see, simplicity sells. The easier it is to explain and clear up your benefit, the more likely folks are to buy and tell their friends what to buy. Tell their friends about you. It is said that success leaves clues. If you have helped someone to save time, to make money, solve a problem, then you've got something valuable to offer. You just need to identify it and begin to package it. Number four, what can people say yes to you and refer others for? What can they easily say yes to you and refer others? When you identify that, you're well on your way to actually identifying that product or service that is in your wellhouse. And number 5, what product or what service can be repeated, packaged, or scaled? See, we're not just building a side hustle. We are building a business. So you're looking for something that you can turn into a system, a service package, or a digital product that doesn't drain you with every sale. And it is repeatable. So, what is your product or service? Does anything come to mind? If something comes to your mind right now, that gives you aha, oh yeah, I think that's what it is. Put that in the chat and make a mental note of it. So here is my tip of wisdom. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Just roll with what you already have in your hands. Yes, friends, it is in your hands. So we're going to help you to polish it up. So let's move on to the next element that you must implement. That is arriving at the price that you need to sell your product or service for. So let's talk about pricing consideration. Now you have identified your product, your service, or your offer You're clear on what you bring to the table. That gift, that solution, that expert genius that is wrapped in value. But here is the next big question. What's it worth? See, the ideas don't pay bills. Pricing does. So before you can make your first sale, you got to build that budget. You got to hit that income goal. We've got to talk pricing. And I'm not talking about just random numbers or what the guy down the street is charging. We are going to look at how to price your offer with confidence that is based on value, not just cost. So you can build a business that works for your life and not the other way around. So let me just share with you some of the considerations that you have to look at. You start with the income goal. How much money do you want to make? And that's related to what we said yesterday about your monetary value and your net worth. Then you estimate client capacity. How many clients can you acquire or need to acquire? And we calculate the price, and then we cross-check that with the other factors that I'm sharing now, and then you do the final check. So the first thing you need to understand is your product or service, don't price that by the hour. Price it by the value that it produces. Yeah, sometimes you can find a product that you can buy cheaper, but does it produce the value that you need? What's the transformation or the result that you provide with your service or your product? What is the result that is worth to your clients? How does it change your life or their business? What is it worth? Price it with confidence. You're not selling time. You're selling outcome. So aim for a price that can say with boldness and deliver with excellence. So to begin the first step, let me share the step-by-step method. You start with your income goal. How much do you want to make monthly? Number one. Number two, estimate your client capacity. How many clients or unit can you realistically produce or serve? Number three, calculate your price. And here is a standard formula for pricing. Your income is divided by your clients produces your target price. So if let me use an example. If your income goal is say 5,000 for the month, but you can serve 10 people for that month effectively, then you're looking at $500. Now, this is where you cross-check with your time. So you add up the time, the amount of time that is going to take you to service or produce that. Then you look at the material. What does that cost? What are your overheads? And you add that in. So you come up with a formula right here that your base price, which is equal to your time plus material plus overhead, plus your desired profit. And then your final price that's your base price. Your final price will add your perceived value as a bonus. So T plus M plus O plus P plus the value gives you the final price. Now there are variables there. For example, the perceived value, that's coming from you. That's what you perceive your value to be, and add it in the price. So your desired income plus your clients checked against your actual cost. When you put them all together, you come up with the price. Now, the final check, does it meet or beat your income goals? Does it cover your cost and your time? Does it reflect the information or transformation that you deliver? Now, when you factor in your goals, your value, and your real cost, you build a business that blesses both you and your clients. That's what we're doing here. You're learning to price like a CEO, not like someone hustling to survive. So the next thing that we want to look at, and we basically defined this yesterday, determining your monetary value. Let's get real for a minute. If you had to write yourself a check every 2 weeks, what would be your salary? What would that be? Now, I'm not talking about getting by money. I mean the amount that you need to take care of your family, to live in peace, to handle your business, and create the lifestyle that you dream about. That number is your monetary value, and it matters. So let's break it down. Your salary is how much you want to make annually. So if you break that down to monthly, you take the annual, divide by 12, and you get your monthly salary. Then you add your business overhead. That's your rent, your software, marketing, staff, tools, subscriptions. Add to that your profit. And in most business, profit will range anywhere from 20 to 50% of the total revenue as your target margin. Now, once you have all that, this is where you reverse engineer and you ask yourself, what kind of business model, what kind of pricing, what offer do I need to create to meet these needs, these three needs? Can your current idea or your service support that salary? Do you need to increase your price? Do you need to sell more? Or do you need to refine your offer? So this is a role that your monetary value plays in arriving at the pricing of your product. So guys, my wrap up on this, family, this is where we stop playing small. You're not just building a side hustle. You are building a vehicle that is designed for freedom, one that takes care of you, one that covers your costs, and you still thrive. And God knows you are worth it. So now it's time to do the math and make the business match your worth. To continue the process of gathering all the materials to build your business plan, here is another ingredient that you need: the financial tools. I call them powerful financial tools. Now that you know your value, and now that you've determined your monetary value, what you want to earn, then you've got to build a budget that will support that. And this is where we start guessing, and we start thinking like the CEO. To do that, we lean on these three powerful financial tools that I'm going to share with you now. Every business owner must understand them. Okay, are you ready? It begins with your bookkeeping, your daily discipline. That's the foundation. Bookkeeping tracks every dollar that comes in and goes out. It covers your income, your expenses, your invoices, your purchases. It's your business diary. And without it, your numbers lie. You don't want your numbers to lie. The bookkeeping system includes these three statements. They are the most critical statements that you need to understand. The first one is your profit and loss statement. And that's also that's commonly referred to as your P&L statement. It's also referred to as your income statement. This statement is critical because it tells you if your business is profitable. You see, if it breaks down your total revenue and it breaks down your total expenses, and when you subtract your expenses from your revenue, then you arrive at your net profit or loss. You need this monthly, no exceptions. This is like a ball game. We're in playoff season now. You know, the most important thing outside of the players, the next most important thing is that scoreboard. And if you ever notice when you go to a game, whether it is football or basketball, you look at the audience. I get a thrill out of this just looking at the audience, because you'll always see, especially when it comes down to a tight moment, maybe the last 10, 15 seconds of a basketball game, the head goes like this. It's going up to the scoreboard and it's going down to the field, because they got to stay in the know. They got to see what's happening. So in business, your scoreboard, your financial scoreboard, are those three statements. And That's your roadmap, your business roadmap. So even if you're just starting out, use your best estimates. Don't skip it. Have something in place. And when you're starting out, you don't have real numbers, but you have estimates. Then the next year, or as you begin to build business, then those estimate numbers get replaced with actual numbers. Okay, number two. Number two statement is your balance sheet. This shows the big picture of your business health. It shows your assets, that is what you own. It shows your liability, that's what you owe. And it shows your owner's equity, that's your stake. When all is said and done, if that business is liquidated today, the owner's equity is what you will walk away with. And you expect it to be a positive number. And that's why each year you keep checking, and you have that as your guide to make sure that you're increasing your net worth, that you're growing. It's like your business credit report. You need it for funding. You need it for grants. Making serious decisions, you need it. And the third financial report is your cash flow statement. This tracks how much cash is coming in and how much is going out of your business. It tells you, can I pay my bills today, next week, next month? You can be profitable and you're still running out of cash if you don't know and if you're not monitoring your cash. The profit doesn't always mean cash in the bank. Cash flow helps you to avoid that surprise you don't run out of money, even when your business is growing. Lots of times it will show that you're making money, but there's no money. The money in the bank does not reflect that because they are outstanding expenses that is not recorded there yet. So you have to understand it and stay on top of it. Now, once you understand these and you have them in place, then you tie it back to your budget, because your budget is your monthly financial plan. Your budget should reflect, number one, your desired income, your realistic revenue goals, both fixed and variable expenses, and your investment that goes back into growth. So a good budget guides your pricing, your marketing, and your freedom. Yes, it does. So, my wrap up on this. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. So let's get clear. Let's get clear, let's get confident, and be cash flow ready. Because the business you're building must be able to pay you, must fund itself, and it must scale. Here are two other elements that you should know about. Your margin, checking your margins, and know your break-even point. These two elements are integral to creating your budget and your business plan. The margin, that shows how much profit you make on each sale. So you purchase, you sell a product for $100. Your cost is $25. Your margin is therefore $75. The difference between those two. Your planning will be based on your margin, your gross profit, not on your selling price. So without a healthy margin, your business won't survive, no matter how many sales you might make. So that's your margin. Now, your break-even point in the planning process tells you how many sales you need to cover your cost. Now, after that, everything is profit. So let me give an example of that break-even point. Let's say that your expenses for the month is $2,000. Then, in order to establish what you need to break even for the month, you must sell. You must achieve that level of expense in sales. So if your expense is $2,000 and the product that you're selling is, let's say, $25, then you know that you must sell 250 of that unit in order to break even. Here is how that helps you. If halfway through the month you know you need to sell 25 and you have sold only 5 and you're halfway through the month, you know you're falling behind. So you have to play catch up in the next 2 weeks. If at that time, however, you found that you have sold 150, you're way ahead of the game. Then you can pedal a little bit. So it helps you to stay abreast of where you are. All those serve as stress relievers as well. Now, once you have these in place, then you can begin to put it all together. And I am going to introduce you to what I call the four-step planning process. It is a simple step-by-step process for building your business. We know what we need to have to produce a plan that will guide us. But how do we implement some of those things? How do we arrive at the critical thing, not the information that we need? Starting a business is about passion. It's also about preparation. And that's where the four-step planning process comes in. Whether you're just starting out or ready to grow, this process gives you a clear path that takes you from the idea to action. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter what matters is moving forward with purpose. So these four steps will help you to decide if, when, and how to move from concept to a business that works for you. So let's break it down. The four-step planning process shows the path forward and sets the stage for building your one-page business plan, while also giving you permission to move at your own pace that is based on your circumstances. The four-step planning process is a simple roadmap to help you make clear, confident business decisions, whether you're starting from scratch or you are leveling up. There are four components that can be spread out. The timeline, however, varies according to the individual and your circumstances. So I'm going to share with you a case study of a young woman. We name her Sophia. And Sophia, it took her 2 years from conception of her idea to launching her business. Now, we're not saying that you should take 2 years, but it depends on your circumstance and where you are. Believe it that one of the reasons why I developed the concept of this 5-day challenge to equip you at the end of 5 days with the knowledge that you need to start the business is because I was running into people who were ready to go. They didn't even want to wait 3 months to go through one of my longer courses. They wanted something that they could take right now and run with, leave their job and get out and start making money. So that's why I said it depends on your system, your individual circumstance. So we begin with step one, what I call the back of the napkin presentation or plan. This here, you ask yourself, does this idea make sense? Yeah, based on everything that we have gone through to come up with the ideas can create the business for you. You still want to test it. And this is your test. This is your go or no go moment. You use this to decide, well, if this will work or this won't work. So you sketch the basics. That's your ideas, who it's for, how you make money with it, decide if it is worth pursuing. This quick snapshot will reveal if the business is viable or if it is just a dream. Then you decide. So that's your first step in the planning process. Make a go or no go decision. Now, if you decide that you're satisfied and you decide to go, it's a go decision, then your next step is developing your resource plan. In this step, you ask yourself the question, what will I need to make this work? So here you list the people, the tools, the skills, the funding, the time that you'll need. Think license, equipment, support team, time commitment, all of those elements that goes into your resource plan to decide whether it's a go or no, to decide what's the next step. How do you go forward? And then the third step is your business plan. And the question you ask here, how will I finance it and stay profitable? And that's what your business plan is going to help you to understand. How will you finance it? This step helps you to break down the cost, set pricing, and create a basic financial plan that works. It includes pricing strategy, sales goal, budgets, and your break-even point. When you have all these elements together, then you can move into step number 4, and that is your action plan. This is where you ask yourself, how will you build and manage a healthy business? So now it's time to set your priorities, to market your strategies, your timelines, your accountability systems. Put these in place so that you can keep track as you grow with intention. So let me demonstrate the planning concept. And our case study here is Sophia, mother of 2 smart and hungry teenagers who want to start a business repairing her basic idea, cell phones and small appliances. So we use Sophia to see, to understand and visualize the things that you have to put in place and figure out to understand the process. This mother of 2 with her hungry teenagers thought it was a good idea to build a business repairing cell phones. Both her sons and their friends think that this is a terrific idea. But she has concerns. You want to know what her concerns are? She has 2 basic concerns. How will she make money? And by extension, that's a question you ask yourself. How will I make money? And how will you cover your startup cost? So we're going to follow a real-life example of Sophia, a new business owner. It took her 2 years to plan her transition from day job to full-time entrepreneur. Like you, she has to answer 4 key questions. How will I make money? How will I cover my startup expenses? And those are 2 of the 4 questions that she'll have to answer. At each step, those questions and her answers becomes clearer. As they become clearer, they also get more detailed. The other question she has to determine is who is going to help her on this journey. So as we walk through Sophia's journey, I want you to begin thinking about how these same 4 steps apply to you. And not just about take them, but see yourself in the choices that you make. See yourself in her. So in pursuit of finding the answer to her questions, let's look at the resource plan. It's a step-by-step series of questions and answers, and identifying the resources that needs to be there based on the type of business that you are looking at developing. Then you set budgets for those items, equipment, supplies, what you need. Determine the skill set that you need. What kind of help do you need to help you in the process, producing it and running it? Who do you need to support and complement you? You bring this to the table, but you also need this. Where can you find that counterpart? Other factors to consider would be stuff like insurance, taxes, and so on. In one of the case studies that I did before, there was this young lady after in doing the assessment to see, and that's another program that I have, talks about your self-assessment. How do you know that you're a good fit for business? Is business a good fit for you? And after going through that assessment, she discovered where her weaknesses lie and realized that to be successful, she would need to have someone that is there with her. So now she knows exactly who she had to go out and bring in, either as a partner or an employee. All right, so let's take a look at Sophia's resource plan that is focused on 4 key areas that is essential to getting set up. So she's looking at starting a repair business, a repair shop. This means that she has to have a physical location. So she has to have space. And she needs to find space that is in a good location, where there may be good traffic. So she's budgeted for an office space in the downtown area of her city, with an estimated cost of $1,000 a month for her lease. The next thing that she has to look at is what equipment and tools to get up and running that she will need. And as you can see, I don't know if you can read this here, it might be a little bit small for you to see, but it breaks them down into the office space, desk and chair, to read customers' smartphone, that is backup inventory of parts, mobile app to track inventory, job payments and expenses, mechanical, electrical tools, furniture, benches, base inventory to fix broken items, office supplies, marketing and sales. The breakdown, the total of all of those, when she broke it down, she needs an additional $1,800 to cover all. I'm sorry, $18,200 will be your total up to this point. The $12,000 for rent and $6,000 for all these other parts. That's all broken down, factoring those things that she needs, that she would need. So this plan gives Sophia clarity and confidence that she's preparing with intention and foresight. Now she knows what it will take to open her doors and stay open for at least 6 months. Now section B of the resource plan deals with the skill and support that she will need, the team. She knows that success depends on not just tools, but on knowledge and people. So she is prepared. She understands that she has to make an investment in skill development. So what did she do? She enrolled herself in a college course, and she also enrolled her sons, who are going to help her in the business, in courses that is relevant to having the skills that they will need to stay current and build a solid foundation. So courses like the latest cell phone and tablet repair technology, project management, social media marketing to attract and retain customers. And all of that altogether was another $1,200. And she also set aside some funds to bring in a reliable assistant later on that can assist her in the business. So this all these allocation, people, skills, and personnel ensure that Sophia's business has a skill set and the structure to grow and support the business needs. And then the third piece that is factored in the resource plan was other expenses that will come up. She knows that the little things matter too, so she budgets for often overlooked but absolutely necessary startup needs. Would you like to know what some of those are? And this, I know this out of experience. Business insurance. One of the reasons why I started doing coaching and stuff is because I found that there were many people that were in business, great at what they did, but they were lacking in some of the basic things that we're talking about here. One of them was insurance. Many were coming for insurance and always in a hurry. And when I asked, what's your hurry? It was, well, I'm working on this contract and they say I need insurance and I don't have any. Or I've done the work and I need to get paid, but I need to produce my insurance certificate before I can get paid. That was not good. So without this kind of planning, then you run the risk of suffering severe setback. Business insurance, initial taxes, special tools and equipment that didn't fit into the earlier categories. You know, sometimes you have to run out and buy last minute things. And that's why the thinking process is so very important in here. So in her case, she allocated another $450 to cover these items. And so with this final section, she now has a realistic estimate of what it will take to get her business up and running, fully equipped, ready, and to go, fully covered. Okay, so the business planning action plan is the fourth step in the process. And utilizing these principles and practices and concepts that she developed while she was in that early stage, she was able to build a solid base of loyal customers. She was able to keep up with her financial responsibilities, you know, the rent, the utilities. She was able to pay herself a modest working salary. And that's a big win. You know what else she did? She focused her attention on the high valued task and then outsourced the basic tasks that someone else could perform, the admin task, the bookkeeping, and so on. So she knows she has to grow. That modest income that she makes at starting, she's not satisfied with that. And if she is to grow, then she has to make good use of her time. So she focuses on the tasks that only she can do and let other people do the other tasks. Now, by learning to prioritize what matters most, Sophie is she's not just running a business, but she's creating space for a balanced life. Now, she is able to face each day with joy and freedom in her life because she has created that space. She put the planning in, going in, and now is able to enjoy the fruits of it. Okay, how are we doing so far? Are you finding good value here? Don't be hesitant, put a 1 in the box. Let's know. Okay, so now these are the basic elements of creating the business plan. And what I have done for you is to produce a template that will help you to build your business plan. Oops. Let's see if I can get it open here. You should actually have this in your good. You should actually have this in your work kit. Building the business plan. So, in the words of one of our revered presidents, Abraham Lincoln, he was famous because he was a businessman. He was famous for some great wise sayings. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. So what does that tell you? The value of preparation. When you go in well prepared, then you are able to tackle the task and complete it. So what you have in your toolbox is a tool for developing your business plan. And this is an example of the one-page business plan that covers those critical areas. Begins first identifying what you're doing as a business, and then it takes a look at, and this is what you develop in your research, the marketplace. What are the problems in the marketplace that you can provide a solution for? Solution that comes out of your expert genius, your passion, your experience, your skills. So it's knowing, having the solution, and also now finding where that problem exists. How do you do that? That's your target market. That's your target audience. And so those are the people that you are going to get your messaging in front of. When we get down to pillar number 4, the promotion, you will learn how to identify that audience and how to tailor your message so that when they see your message, they'll say, I've got to have that. And they come throwing the money at you to get your solution. So your business plan also looks at your sales channel, your marketing and sales, how you get it out, how you get it done. And we talk about the budget, your revenue, developing the revenue stream. Where will that come from? And marketing, how will you get the word out? Where will you market? What method will you use? Today we have a plethora of outlets. Once upon a time it was just a newspaper and what we call guerrilla marketing and the radio. But today we have so many different mediums that you can become conflicted and confused and throw a lot of money down the drain if you are not careful and conscious and if you don't know exactly what you're doing. So that is why all of this is so very important. Then you also want to look at your milestones. We talk about going in the business, but what are the things that you want to achieve? Remember those 5 areas that most people want? Well, we circle back to them. and you establish milestones as to when do you want to accomplish those things. You set those goals and you set a time frame to it, and so you work back to it. And all of this is a part of in your business plan. You have it all well laid out right there. Then we also talk about the people that you need in your business. There are a variety of people. It could be from your banker to your suppliers, your mentors, your coaches, and your employees, key employees in different areas of your business. Identifying who you need in process, pillar number 3. That's what we'll deal with tomorrow. We talk about process. You will identify not just the things that you need, but also the people that you need to help you to build that business. So this one-page business plan is definitely for you. As you can see, and maybe if some of you have started on it already, that it's a template. So you get the opportunity of providing the answers as you're going along to develop your plan. And it is very specific, it is very focused, it gets you what you need to know. And once you have that, the beauty of this is that you get help with it, because we're here to help you. When you completed all of this, you make a copy of it for yourself. Once you submit, you get to print that off and keep it for yourself. You get to go back in and modify, edit, and update. And best of all, it comes back to us, so we can work with you as you go to develop and grow. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have for you today. And I was grateful that you joined us, and hope that you got a lot out of today's activity. Day 2, planning your business. So I'm going to stick around for a little bit. So if you have any questions, then we can talk about it and get you clear, so that you can have the business of your dream and create the lifestyle of your choice. Thanks for joining with me today.